G'day guys, it's just Rob here again. Just doing a bit of a part 2 to my February update for 2012. I think last time I did like 5 Blu-ray movies, so this time I'm going to do 5 DVD movies. So the first one I got one called Source Code, just the DVD edition. I actually got this through I think on eBay. You know, some people sort of sell movies in bulk, so I sort of just bought I think it's like 8 in a pack. So I think I would prefer perhaps having this on Blu-ray, but DVD will be okay for now. I think I made my 2001 best movies of 2011 best movies of 2011 movie video. This I think was for I don't know. I think it was top 3rd favourite. I don't know, something like that. But this is definitely one of my favourites of last year. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal in it. I just thought it was a really good sort of sort of a simple sci-fi movie. It wasn't sort of too much over the top with huge explosions and complex storyline. Essentially like a time travelling type storyline. The Jake Gyllenhaal character, he sort of wakes up on a train in another man's body, and he's sort of got, and then like 8 minutes later the train explodes, and then you find that he wakes up in like a metal box, and sort of some lady from the government is sort of talking to him and asking him all these questions, and he sort of begins to find out that he's sort of in the military, and he's making a he's sort of been essentially being sent back in time for 8 minutes back on this train to try and find out who the bomber was on the train that sort of blew up the train. Just about him sort of he has to sort of keep going back, and he's only got sort of 8 minutes to find out who the bomber was each time. But yeah, I just thought this was a really good movie. Really sort of simple, and a few sort of twists and turns here and there, but they were sort of easy to follow, and it wasn't sort of too overly complex. I think I'm just a bit of a fan of sort of time travelling movies. I think they're always sort of fun to watch. So decent sort of CGI in it. Well, it wasn't all that much, there was much in there, but it was decent CGI and decent storyline. Yeah, so definitely, you haven't sort of seen it on before. It's definitely worth a check out, in my opinion. Okay, second one I got. There's a bit of a story to this one. You might remember perhaps last month or a few months ago I entered a competition into one of the Film Fan Pete's. I'm pretty sure it was Film Fan Pete. Just talking about like one of your favourite sort of movie experiences, sort of going to the cinema. And I sort of made a video and was talking about the Blair Witch project, which came out in '99. And I got a bit of feedback on that one, reading through the comments, and another great YouTuber on here, Kevin. I think his name is DrHasslein. I think his YouTube name. We just sort of sending comments back and forth to each other, and also saying that I remember watching the sequel to Blair Witch, and me and my friend were sort of watching together, and I reckon it wasn't too bad. It was a pretty good movie, I thought, and he reckoned it was really awful. So I sort of sent that comment to Kevin, and he sort of sent back and said, "Well, I agree with your friend. It's a pretty awful movie." So I thought I might actually buy it, which is what I did. I actually bought the second one and decided to give it a bit of a watch. I think I tried to download it to a torrent, but I couldn't find one that was actually working. So I think it only cost me $3 or $4. So it wasn't. It's a double disc. It's got 2 discs in there, and it's got a bit of a booklet too with it. So it's worth the money, I suppose, just for that, I guess. And yeah, I mean, I still stick to my original statement. I reckon this actually wasn't too bad of a movie, I thought. I mean, obviously it's not. Blair Witch, the first Blair Witch was obviously a great movie, and just sort of well made and great idea, and great sort of build up to it, and this is perhaps more of your sort of normal sort of typical sort of movie, but I actually thought it was reasonably good, probably definitely above average compared to a lot of other movies that I've sort of seen. It's essentially sort of set, I think it's like set probably a few months after the original sort of Blair Witch project, and it's all about sort of the hype and how these sort of tourists sort of make a destination to go to this town, to it's a Coffin Rock or whatever the town was called, and just about them going to the side of the house and just sort of buying up all the the main character. He's got an internet business, and he's sort of selling off dirt and rocks from the site, and a bit of a con. But essentially, he runs this like a tool group. He's like his first ever tool group, and that's pretty much what the movie's about. And they sort of stay overnight in the foundations of the house. To try, I guess it's a bit of a fun thing to do, a bit of a spooky thing to do, and just about the night and how they sort of have cameras everywhere, to record everything. Hopefully they might catch something, and just about them. So they sort of start to have a few drinks and smoke a bit of weed, and they just sort of wake up the next morning and they sort of can't remember what happened last night, and all the cameras are all being smashed, and but fortunately the film, the cassette tapes are still there. They're sort of buried in the original place of where the original tapes were for the first Blair Witch Project movie. That's probably a bit silly, but anyway. So that's sort of the first half of the movie. In the second half, they a different sort of group through. They sort of go off. I think they go off to another place. They sort of find the next day that they've been sort of killed sort of overnight, and so eventually the guys that we're sort of following, they sort of go back to the tour group manager's sort of house, and so they can sort of rewatch the footage, and hopefully they can perhaps sort of pick up something, and then, I won't perhaps spoil the end. There's a bit of a twist at the end, and but I certainly thought it was. I mean, it's not a masterpiece, and it obviously wasn't anything quite as good as the first one. Totally different. This is a totally different, more of a normal sort of movie. Some of the dialogue was perhaps a little bit off, and acting might have been a bit off, but I certainly enjoyed watching it. The next one I got is a double pack, sort of the original and the sequel, sort of a throwback perhaps to the 90s. Now, certainly the first movie, I didn't know actually was a sequel to it, but anyway, just in terms of the first movie though, it was sort of a movie when it sort of first came out. It was supposed to be like everyone sort of reckoned it was a great movie, and really sort of futuristic, and I think after time people eventually sort of people say no, it's one of the worst films ever sort of made. I'm talking about, I'm not sure if you perhaps remember this one or not, but it's one called the Lawnmower Man, and then there's the second one there, the sequel, Lawnmower 2, Lawnmower Man Beyond Cyberspace. Now I think it says $5 on there, but I think I actually paid more than $5 for it. I think it was like $1.10 or something for the actual DVD, and then it was like $7 or $8 postage, I think. I didn't sort of see I think they sort of blurred that a little bit out with the $5 on it, but anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure if people remember this one or not. I think it's about, I think the stars Pierce Brosnan. He's like a scientist, and he's they're sort of doing experiments on monkeys, and they've got this new sort of drug or new sort of serum that sort of improves intelligence, and makes them a bit smarter, and so they do tests on monkeys, and they sort of find that the monkeys start to get a bit start getting angry and violent, and so they have to sort of discontinue it. Very similar to the recent Planet of the Apes movie, same sort of storyline. So eventually, they sort of start doing that, and the Pierce Brosnan character, he sort of gets sent on holiday for a few months to sort of relax and I don't know, sort of start again, I suppose, or whatever. And you can't sort of let it go, and so eventually there's like he has like a human subject. It's the Lawnmower Man, the person that sort of comes to mow the lawns, and he's not sort of the smartest guy in the world. So I think that's probably a good sort of example of probably what they try to have a good way to perhaps improve his intelligence a little bit, I guess. So Pierce Brosnan starts injecting this guy with the drug, and runs sort of tests, and but then it costs the guy eventually starts to get headaches, and he gets really intelligent, and he also gets, he also gets a bit angry and he starts getting a bit crazy. And basically, well, basically, the end of the movie, basically, the Lawnmower Man sort of he ends up sort of uploading his mind into the mainframes, because then he wants to sort of escape out onto the internet or out into the, well, they call it virtual reality in here. It was sort of made sort of, back in the day when virtual reality was really sort of popular. And then so well, I didn't think it was too bad of a movie though. It definitely has some interesting ideas, and it reminded me a lot of other movies like Ghost in the Shell and Matrix and sort of Edward's Scissorhands and the movie Frankenstein, or the story Frankenstein. So I don't think it was too bad of a movie. The second one was obviously when they every time they try and make a sequel, it always has to be bigger and better and a bit more ambitious. So the second one, it was supposed to be sort of set a few minutes, I think pretty much a few minutes after the first movie ended, sort of thing. But that doesn't, there's no sort of continuity there, because as I said before, in the first movie, the end, basically the Lawnmower Man basically sort of gets his mind sucked up into the mainframe, and his body sort of deteriorates and sort of eventually just becomes like a skeleton, basically, because it's all uploaded everything onto into the mainframe. And but eventually, in the beginning of the second one, though, some reason it's like like a team of scientists just appear and they sort of come and sort of take the body and eventually get manage to find a way to revive him, I guess. And it doesn't sort of continue very well. I'll try. It'd be hard to explain the story a lot, but I'll try and explain it. So eventually, so eventually they rescue the Lawnmower Man, and the scientists have made this sort of like a chip, like a computer chip that's supposed to, I don't know, supposed to help with virtual reality, help with the internet, sort of make it, I don't know, more powerful or something, or I don't know. And of course now that Lawnmower Man is real sort of intelligent, he's sort of the one in charge of trying to invent it and trying to make it work as such. But that again, it sort of reminded me a lot of other, Matrix, and reminded me a lot of some of the set design was sort of definitely based on Blade Runner. Definitely set design and sort of the city streets are all sort of dark, and definitely Blade Runner there. But it definitely had some great sort of, apart from that, great sort of action art design and background sets. I think some of those are really good. Perhaps a bit dated, perhaps by today's standards, but certainly thought they were really good. It's got a bit of sort of Goonies in there as well. The movie Goonies sort of got some kids there that sort of come along and really sort of intelligent, really good with computers and stuff. So they come along and sort of save the day, But I didn't mind the second one. It was sort of a bit sort of rushed. It was sort of one of those films where they sort of had to sort of try and edit it down to make it a bit shorter, and sort of some of the scenes were sort of cut a bit short to sort of try and get on to the next scene, so they continue on with the storyline. But apart from that, it wasn't too bad. I just thought it was definitely, if you check it out sometime, if you find it for $5 or less or whatever, definitely worth a check out. Next one I got is one I haven't sort of watched for a little while. Pitch Black. With what's his name? Oh, that's pretty bad. I can't even remember his name. That guy. Whatever his name is, him. I'm sure a lot of people have already seen this one, so I probably don't need to talk too much about it. I think essentially what happens, aren't they like on a ship or something, and Vin Diesel, that's it. He's like a criminal, and so he's locked up, he's sort of being transferred. I think he's been transferred to a prison. I think he's into the big main prison. And of course, the spaceship crash lands, and he's with the rest of other just normal civilians, I guess. And eventually, he's the big badass. He's the one that's got to save him. And so they sort of crash land on this planet, and there's no humans there at all, and they're sort of a bit worried that what's happened to the humans on the planet, and they eventually sort of find out there's actually other things there that aren't actually human, So yeah, I'm pretty sure you know that one. I won't talk about too much about that one. And the last one I got was one I sort of talked about before. I just got a Lord of the Rings, the animated version by Ralph Bakshi. I don't actually own a DVD copy, which is sort of why I sort of bought this one. With a cool sort of I don't know, flipper thing, whatever you call the case, flipper case, whatever it is, thing, whatever it is. I don't actually own a DVD copy. I got my sort of special box edition, but there's no actual DVD actually in that sort of box set. It's just like the box and stuff. That's all I bought, which is just the actual box for it. Definitely a great movie. You can also get like The Hobbit and Return of the King as well. But I think they're made by different sort of companies. I mean, I remember, I sort of read that DrHasslein actually he sort of made this movie. He was actually going to make Return of the King his own version, but I think I don't know if he ran out of money or he just didn't end up sort of making it. So I think another sort of studio came along and sort of eventually did sort of make their own version of Return of the King. But definitely, if you love animation, definitely one to check out. So yeah, that's my little very short sort of update. Just a few DVD ones for you. I think next time I'm going to be doing special sort of box sets or special sort of editions of movies and stuff. So I think that might be interesting. So yeah, that's my little update. If you want to make some comments, I'd certainly appreciate that. Any sort of recommendations on movies that I should watch. So yeah, till next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.